Fresh Pretty Cure, what comes to mind? The dance motif, the powers, or the Cure passion arc? But what I think about most is the pink Cure aka the leaders. So what if Hoshizora Miyuki aka the leader of Smile Pretty Cure was the leader of Fresh Pretty Cure instead? What changes? Today we will find it out. Okay, let's break down the first episode of Fresh Pretty Cure and put in Hoshizora Miyuki and see how she acts. The Trinity Concert. In the original Fresh Precure, Mamazono Love attends a concert by the dance group Trinity and is inspired by its leader, who coincidentally is named Miyuki. If Smile Precure's Miyuki were the protagonist, she would attend the same show, fangirling just as hard over the dancing. The attack. When the labyrinth's Naquamk monster attacks, Miyuki's innate desire to protect others would immediately trigger. Tart and Chiffon. Unlike Love, who was terrified when she first encountered Tart, a talking ferret, Miyuki is a massive fan of fairy tales and magical creatures. She would enthusiastically embrace Tart and the fairy baby, Chiffon, treating them like characters straight out of her storybooks. Cure Peach's debut. When the pink Picrun fuses with her device to form the Lincrun, Miyuki would become Cure Peach. However, instead of Cure Peach's standard freshly picked fresh Cure Peach intro, Miyuki would likely adapt the transformation to her iconic Smile Precure catchphrase, declaring a pink and heart-fueled ultra happy. The battle. Though Miyuki is notoriously clumsy, her pure heart and boundless magical girl instincts would take over, allowing her to speed around the monster and defeat it with Love Sunshine. A different goal. At the end of the original first episode, Love asks the Trinity leader for dance lessons. If Miyuki were the lead, she would likely ask her idol for dance tips out of admiration, but her overarching mission would quickly pivot from getting happiness to making everyone ultra happy, bringing a heavy dose of sunshine to the Fresh universe. Now we break down the first episode, but let's see how would Miki and Inori react to Hoshizora Miyuki as their leader. Miki is intelligent, confident, and practical. At first, she might wonder whether Miyuki is really suited to leading the team. Her initial thoughts could be something like, she's cheerful, but she's also pretty scatterbrained. Miyuki has a habit of getting excited, rushing into situations, and occasionally making mistakes. Miki would probably spend the first few battles covering for her and offering advice. However, Miki also respects sincerity. Once she sees that Miyuki never gives up, genuinely believes in everyone, encourages teammates even after setbacks, can inspire civilians and allies, she would gradually trust her leadership. Miki might even become Miyuki's strategist. Miyuki provides optimism and emotional motivation. Miki handles planning and tactics. She would probably tease Miyuki whenever she gets distracted by fairy tales or cute things, but she'd also defend her if anyone questioned her ability to lead. Inori would likely warm up to Miyuki much faster. Both girls are kind-hearted, empathetic, and naturally supportive of others. At first, Inori might be surprised by how energetic Miyuki is. She'd probably smile and think, she really makes everyone feel welcome. When Miyuki inevitably doubts herself after a defeat, Inori would become one of her biggest emotional supporters. She'd reassure her by saying things like, you don't have to be perfect to be our leader, you just have to keep believing in us. Unlike Miki, Inori wouldn't judge Miyuki's leadership by tactical ability. She'd judge it by how well Miyuki brings people together. As a team, their overall dynamic might look like this. Miyuki, the inspirational leader, whose optimism keeps morale high. Miki, the calm realist who keeps everyone focused. Inori, the emotional heart who supports both of them. Miki would occasionally roll her eyes when Miyuki gets carried away imagining happy endings, while Inori would gently laugh and help keep things on track. Eventually, Miki would likely admit something like, she's not the kind of leader I expected, but somehow everyone ends up believing in themselves because of her. Inori would wholeheartedly agree. That's what makes Miyuki special. So, while Miki would probably be skeptical at first and Inori would be accepting from the beginning, both would likely come to see Miyuki as a capable leader, not because she's the strongest or most organized, but because her optimism, compassion, and ability to inspire others help the team overcome challenges together. Now, how would one of the most emotional Pretty Cure arcs ever change in Fresh Pretty Cure if Hoshizora Miyuki had the role of Cure Peach? Let's find out. 1. The happy ending motivation. Miyuki, Cure Happy, is driven by her belief that every story deserves a happy ending. Smile Precure. When faced with Ise's tragic fate, being brainwashed by Labyrinth and given a limited lifespan fresh pre-cure, Miyuki would refuse to accept it as a tragedy. Rather than just offering friendship, Miyuki's relentless fight to rewrite Ise's destiny would add an even stronger, almost desperate fairy tale heroism to Peach's efforts to save her enemy. 2. Amplified empathy and tears. Both Love and Miyuki are empathetic, but Miyuki is notably more emotional and prone to crying when her friends are in pain. Seeing Ise suffer under Mobius's control would deeply shatter Miyuki. Her tears and absolute refusal to give up on Ise would humanize the villains much faster, as Miyuki's emotional vulnerability would pierce through Ise's cold, loyal exterior in a way that pure determination might not. 3. Team dynamics with Miki and Inori. Miyuki's natural clumsiness and slightly goofy, enthusiastic leadership style would alter the dynamic of the fresh team. While Love was the glue that held the more grounded Miki, Cure Berry, and Inori Cure Pine together, Miyuki's tendency to leap before she looks would force Miki and Inori into more supportive, responsible roles. They would have to look after her while she fights to save Setsuna, strengthening the trio's bond in a different way. 4. The transformation into Cure Passion. When Ise is finally saved and becomes Cure Passion, her transformation represents a rebirth. For Miyuki, this would symbolize the ultimate happy ending she fought so hard for. The tragic, fleeting nature of Ise's initial redemption would be framed by Miyuki's vocabulary, turning a nightmare for Setsuna into a fairy tale happily ever after. Now this is just tip of the iceberg. These are just my thoughts. Leave your thoughts comments below. This is just fan theorizing. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye guys.